When you think of successful companies, you think of Disney, right? But they did just lose 2.4 million subscribers on Disney Plus in the last 3 months of 2022. Huh. That's interesting. Is this just some sort of bump in the road? Or is this the potential beginning of the downfall of Disney? Now, you can blame this drop on a lot of things. I'm sure it's a combination of, so many things happening in the world right now. Apparently, a big chunk of these losses is due to Disney losing the rights to the Premier Cricket League in India. But I think there's something else here we're missing. I think it has to do with the lack of quality content.
Oh, just another white guy on the internet saying go woke, go broke.
Yes, I am. And please comment down below. I would appreciate your engagement. All of this reboot and reimagining BS is getting way out of hand, especially with Disney Plus, and I want to complain about it. I mean, just take a look at some of these recent Disney Plus projects. Obi-Wan Kenobi, a generic story that took scenes directly from Rebels. And how can you forget about the first female black Sith Inquisitor that totally wasn't the focus of the entire show? Okay, how about the show Willow on Disney Plus? A reimagine of a cult classic movie in the 80s, but now there are 2 lesbians. And another show you can't forget about on Disney Plus is She-Hulk. Now, after those shows, you think Disney would dial back the activism just a bit, especially knowing that their woke movies bombed too. But of course, they never learn. Over the past few weeks, clips on Twitter started to emerge of scenes from a new Disney Plus show called The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. If you're in your late to late 20s, you might remember this show being on the Disney Channel. Now, from what I remember, the original show was very iconic and ahead of its time. They touched on subjects such as segregation in the 60s, and they even had an episode where an Islamic family moved into the neighborhood and they had to deal with all this, discrimination. So it's no secret that this show dabbles into social issues. But those episodes had very simple messages like, don't discriminate based off someone's appearance. And those episodes were well written and well executed for a kids show. But of course, y'all know how Disney operates today. Hey, remember that thing we did in the past? Let's bring it back. But this time, we're gonna put in these dumb, woke, ideological plot lines. I mean, just take this scene, for example. The students are protesting outside their school because they learned about this statue. And of course, the riot squad comes out, and one of the parents yells to this white person to use their white privilege and stop them.
Do something! Let's go! They're gonna arrest our baby! Do something with your white privilege!
Yes, because we all know being white means you can just stop the police at any time. People don't honestly believe that, right? And we're not just going to start teaching our kids that, because that's completely inaccurate. Another clip that comes up is these 2 adults talking about the book White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo.
You're doing it right now.
Doing what?
Being defensive about race. Robin DiAngelo wrote a whole book about it.
It's literally the book. It has the same cover and everything. This book also claims that white people are just born racist. So, that's a good thing to teach kids. But the best clip I seen was the presentation the kids give at their school.
We had Tubman, Turner,
Frederick D.
Then they say Lincoln freed the slaves.
But slaves were men.
And women. And only we can free ourselves. Emancipation is not freedom.
The more and more I watch these clips, the more and more I get the feeling that this show wasn't really written for children. I think this show was mainly written for the millennials who grew up on the original show. And of course, it's written for the woke cult. Also, is it true Abraham Lincoln didn't really want to free the slaves? Guess I'm not educated enough. I will have to issue an apology video. Hey guys, just want to make this quick video to apologize for my remarks in the last video. What I said there was highly inappropriate. I mean, I was ignorant. I didn't understand that Abraham Lincoln just hates black people. I will now be reading White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo and, of course, rewatching all of the Proud Family Louder and Prouder to further educate myself in these topics. Now, my overall problem with shows like this nowadays isn't the fact that they're teaching kids history or teaching them lessons. My problem is the way they lie to the audience and manipulate the kids watching it. It really feels like these showrunners are trying to tell these kids that America hates you if you are a different color, which is not true at all. Yes, slavery was an atrocity, and the Jim Crow era was terrible. But right now, this country is the least racist place to be. But these woke cult members want you to believe otherwise because they want to play the victim here. And they want to pass that victimhood on to your kids. It all boils down to how people don't really realize how good they have it in America. Now, if Disney keeps releasing shows like this, I have no doubt that the subscriber count will fall in 2023. People don't like being hit over the head with woke politics or even politics at all when they're watching shows and movies. And they sure as hell don't want their kids watching something like this with a very clear woke agenda. I mean, just look at the score of this show as well. You can see critics love it, but of course the audience begs to differ. I think Disney needs to take a step back here and do what put them on top in the first place. That's creating interesting stories with innovating storytelling. But of course, who thinks they're gonna do that? Because if they do, then they're gonna get hounded by the woke cult saying their movies aren't diverse enough or they aren't touching on certain social issues. And even though this woke cult is in the minority, they are the loudest. So of course, they will destroy your brand no matter what. But hey, look on the bright side. If Disney keeps making crap like this, you know, I can benefit off the grift, right? But of course, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of these clips surfacing on Twitter down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. If you want to catch up on any one of my other videos, including a full episode She-Hulk review, click on this playlist right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.